Yeah, man. So give us some more game on this old gangsters and young guns, man.
Old Gangsters and Young Guns. This was a book that I began writing in 2003 when Don Diva really hit its pinnacle. I had spread it all over the country. I had access to the hottest artists in the country and in the game. I had personal access, so I was able to bring, although we were small, we were exclusive. I had relationships that gave me access to the behind the scenes of everybody, everywhere. So the things that I was putting out were exclusive to my relationships. Because I was on the street, I was recognizing that the direction of media was moving away from magazines and going towards more so the internet, and the urban lit genre was exploding. A lot of people from the hood had begun to recognize reading, and they were reading a lot of the stuff that was coming out, like the stuff I mentioned earlier. The best of them being, the most successful of them being True to the Game by Terry Woods. And I was like, instead of having to chase behind advertisers every time we have to come up with a new issue, how about we leverage the readership that we've established up to this point and the relationships that we have with the subjects who are the primary drive of the magazine, and create books. That way we don't have to say every issue we need to come up with new content, whatever, and then the previous issue, unique to us was the fact that I was able to sell an old issue for twice as much as a new issue because it was a limited amount, and like I said, the information was exclusive. So once a new issue came out, the new issue was $5, an old issue automatically went to $10. And the less there were of those, the higher the price went. And the retailers loved that. The newsstands loved it because there was nothing like that. Old Gangsters and Young Guns was the outgrowth of having to create a product that I didn't have to worry about having to reproduce over and over again with new content, but being able to leverage that same content, because that's what books do. You can sell books forever. You can keep selling them. It's always a new generation of people that aren't familiar with it. So, that's how the idea that came along. Plus the simple fact that there wasn't enough room in the articles in the magazine. There's several things in the magazine. You can't dedicate but so many pages to a given subject. So there was so much more to the stories that wouldn't fit into a magazine that it seemed to me that the stories were being done in injustice and the readers were being done in injustice, because the whole point of telling these stories was, one, to entertain, but two, to inform them of the true detriment of this lifestyle and these choices. And a lot of people weren't getting it. They were like, oh, the cars, oh, the money, the jewelry, oh, the violence, oh. And they didn't really recognize how the stories ended. Pretty much the way that they do with Scarface. Like, everybody wants to be Scarface as though they didn't see the end of it. Like, so many, even Meech, told me that, Scarface was an influence. When I seen Scarface, the day it came out, I was like, this is terrible. This dude is a junkie, psychotic, and he screwed himself. He had an opportunity to shoot to the top of that tier, or top of that space, and he shoots himself in the foot. And people want to emulate that. When I saw how people responded to the movie was enjoyable. But to want to become all these cats that wanted to become, I never thought about being drug dealers before, and all of a sudden saw Scarface, or this glorious loser, and decided they wanted to be drug dealers. That didn't make any sense to me.